the last class we have learned about Kirchhoff's law. Kirchhoff's law helps us to solve complicated circuits in the form of a network. Wheatstone's bridge is a practical application of this Kirchhoff's law. So using Kirchhoff's law we can find the current, resistance or voltage of any branch of the network. Now this Wheatstone's bridge became more popular in the form of another bridge which is called a meter bridge. Meter bridge consists of a wire of length 1 meter. That is why this bridge is called a meter bridge. So today we are going to learn about meter bridge.
So meter bridge is a practical application of Wheatstone's bridge. This meter bridge consists of a wire, the length of which is 1 meter. That is why this device is called a meter bridge. The different parts of meter bridge are a resistance box which is represented by R, and since it is a resistance box, we know the resistance that we are using or we are taking in this resistance box. So that resistance is a known resistance. So this resistance box or R represent a known resistance because we know the resistance that we are using in this resistance box, and this X represent an unknown resistance. So this is the arrangement of Wheatstone's bridge. So this is an L-shaped. There are two L-shaped copper strips. So this is a copper strip which is fixed over a wooden board, and this is an I-shaped copper strip. And between these two strips there is a gap. This is called left gap and this is the right gap. So in this left gap we are connecting this resistance box. In this right gap we are connecting this unknown resistance. Then between the points A and B there is a wire. The length of this wire is 1 meter. Then between the point A and B we are connecting a cell. So this E represents the source of EMF and K represents a switch. Then from the middle of this I-shaped strip there is a galvanometer. This G represents the galvanometer, and as we have discussed, the galvanometer will show the presence of current. Then this galvanometer is connected to a jockey, so this J represents a jockey. These are the different parts of meter bridge, and this jockey is nothing but a metallic rod that can be slided over this wire. So this jockey can be slided over this metallic wire of length 1 meter. So by adjusting the position of this jockey over this wire, we can adjust the current which is flowing through this galvanometer. That is how it works. Then this meter bridge is best understood if we know the connection diagram of a Wheatstone's bridge. In this connection of Wheatstone's bridge, you know this P, Q, R and S represent resistance and G represent the galvanometer. And this meter bridge is nothing but a replica of this Wheatstone's bridge, with this resistance box R represent the P in the which is in the Wheatstone's bridge. Similarly, the unknown resistance X is nothing but the resistance Q in the Wheatstone's bridge. Then in the middle of this strip, you know, there is a galvanometer connection which is nothing but the galvanometer connection in the Wheatstone's bridge. The only difference is this point J can be moved, or this jockey can be moved over this wire. so that the point J will be changing or varying. Then let L, M, N and O represent the different parts of this meter bridge. L, M, N, O represent different parts of this meter bridge. Then the side LM is nothing but the side of the Wheatstone's bridge where the resistance P is connected. So this LM is nothing but the LM where the resistance P is connected in the Wheatstone's bridge. Similarly, MN where resistance X is connected is similar to the resistance Q connected to the Wheatstone's bridge. So the side MN in the meter bridge is nothing but this side of the MN side of the Wheatstone's bridge. So X is nothing but the X is represented, or Q is represented by X in meter bridge. Then the point O. The point O is the point where jockey will be touching the wire. So, but this jockey, I told you that this jockey can be moved. The jockey can be moved over this wire. So the point O in the Wheatstone's bridge is fixed, but the point O in meter bridge can be varied. So the point O can be varied means the resistance can be varied. Then which are the resistance R and S in meter bridge? Or the side OL or LO is nothing but this branch of the Wheatstone's bridge where R is connected. So which is nothing but the length AJ. Actually it is the resistance of the length AJ. So the resistance of the wire of length AJ is nothing but the resistance R in the Wheatstone's bridge. Similarly, the resistance of the wire of length 100 minus L centimeter is nothing but the resistance S in Wheatstone's bridge. So I told you this is a wire of length 1 meter. 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. 1 length is equal to 100 centimeter. So if the length of this wire is 100 centimeter and L is the length of AJ, then the remaining part is simply 100 minus L. That is why it is taken as 100 minus L centimeter. So the resistance of the wire of length 100 minus L centimeter is represented by S in the Wheatstone's bridge. So these are the different parts of meter bridge. Next we all know the working of a Wheatstone's bridge. In Wheatstone's bridge, the condition P by Q is equal to R by S is reached when the bridge is balanced, or the resistors P, Q, R and S are adjusted such that the current flowing through the galvanometer will be 0. And when the current flowing through the galvanometer is 0, we can attain the condition P by Q is equal to R by S, which is called the balancing condition of the Wheatstone's bridge. So when the bridge is balanced, for a Wheatstone's bridge, P by Q will be equal to R by S. So when the bridge is balanced in the case of a meter bridge, what will happen? So we may find the ratio P by Q is equal to R by S in the case of meter bridge also. And which are these resistance? So P is represented by R and Q is represented by X. Then what is R? R is the resistance of the length AJ. R is the, so in Wheatstone's bridge there is a resistance R. In meter bridge, R is represented by the resistance of the wire of length AJ, and S is represented by the resistance of the wire of length JB. That means P by Q should be what? R by X. P by Q. P by Q should be R divided by X. Then R by S should be resistance of the length AJ divided by resistance of the length JB. So this way we can understand the balancing condition of the meter bridge. In short, when the meter bridge is balanced, R by X will be equal to resistance of the length AJ divided by resistance of the length JB. Now, let R be the resistance per unit length of this wire of length 1 meter. Let small r be the resistance per unit length of this wire of length L. So the total length of this wire is L centimeter, that is equal to 1 meter. Then what is the resistance of this length? So the resistance of this length of wire will be what? The length L into resistance per unit length. Similarly, what is the resistance of the side, say JB? So resistance of the length 100 minus L, right? JB represent 100 minus L. So resistance of the length 100 minus L should be that unit resistance or resistance per unit length into the length, that is 100 minus L into R. So LR is the resistance of the length AJ, and 100 minus L into R is the resistance of the length JB. Therefore, this previous equation can be written as R by X is equal to LR divided by 100 minus L into R. Now these two R's will be cancelled. Therefore, we can write R by X is equal to L by 100 minus L. So R divided by X is equal to L by 100 minus L is the balancing condition for the meter bridge. And please note that this R and X can be interchanged. That means we may replace this R with X, or we may replace the X with R. In that condition, it will be X by R will be equal to L by 100 minus L. The resistances can be interchanged. That means X and R can be interchanged. In such a condition, this equation will be X by R is equal to L by 100 minus L. That is, unknown resistance divided by known resistance is equal to L by 100 minus L. So that equation is also possible. Now, this wire of length 1 meter is actually fixed over on these two strips using a screw. Practically, it is fixed using a screw. So there is a possibility of a contact resistance at the points A and B. And the length may not be exactly 1 meter because it is a wire and we are going to fix it here. So the length we want here is 1 meter. So there will be some extra length for this wire practically at the point A and B. And this will arise a contact resistance at the point A and B practically. And it is called end resistance. So that means the contact resistance at both ends of the wire are called end resistance. To obtain accurate results, a correction has to be applied for this end resistance. It is called end correction. So the correction made for this end resistance is called end correction. The contact resistance at both ends of the wire are called end resistance. To obtain an accurate result using this meter bridge, we want to make a correction for this end resistance, and this correction is called end correction. That means for an accurate result using this meter bridge, this end correction should be as minimum as possible. So a meter bridge with a minimum end correction will give a good result. So this end correction can be minimized by, first one, obtaining the balancing point J at the middle of the wire. So practically when we use this meter bridge, in order to adjust the resistances, we will move the jockey over this wire. So in the case of Wheatstone's bridge, I told you we can adjust the values of P, Q, R and S so that finally the current through the galvanometer becomes 0. That is a condition called balancing condition of the bridge, and at that condition P by Q will be equal to R by S. So here once we take this known resistance, we adjust the values of AJ and BJ by moving this jockey over this wire. So when we move the jockey over this wire, the resistance of the side AJ and resistance of the side BJ will be changing continuously. So at some point over this wire, we will get a null deflection for the galvanometer. So when we get a null deflection or when we get a zero deflection for the galvanometer, for some point over this wire with the help of this jockey, we can say we got a balancing condition. That means P by Q equal to R by S condition is attained. So this balancing condition should be obtained preferably at the middle of the wire so that this N correction can be minimized. So N correction can be minimized by obtaining the balancing point J at the middle of the wire. So when the balancing point is obtained at the middle of the wire, N correction will be minimized. So we are moving this jockey over the wire in order to vary the current through the galvanometer and to make it 0. So by moving this jockey over the wire, we can make the current through the galvanometer 0 at some point. And if it is attained at the middle of the wire, then there will be minimum end correction. I will show the actual picture of a meter bridge at the end of this session. Then next, repeating the experiment by interchanging the X and R. So by interchanging the values of X and R, we can minimize the N correction. So these are the two steps that we are employing to minimize the N correction. Then finally, this wire of length 1 meter is made of manganese or constantan. So the bridge wire is made of constantan or manganese because of its low temperature coefficient of resistance and high resistivity. So we have discussed the importance of the temperature coefficient of resistance and resistivity in the previous class. So in order to have a good result, we want a wire the resistance of which should not vary with the temperature. So while we perform the experiment for a long time, there is a chance of heating up of this wire, which will vary the resistance. But if we perform the experiment using this wire made of manganese or constantan, there will not be any appreciable change in the resistance, and that is why we are using this manganese or constantan. So because of the low temperature coefficient of resistance and high resistivity, we are using constantan or manganese for the meter bridge wire. So this is the actual picture of a meter bridge. So these are the strips of shape L and I. So to this copper strip we are connecting a wire of length 1 meter. Then there are two gaps, left gap and right gap. So we will connect these known and unknown resistances in this left gap and right gap, and while we perform the experiment we will interchange these known and unknown resistance. Then from the middle of the I strip we will take the galvanometer connection, and finally to jockey. So this is the actual meter bridge, and these strips are fixed over a wooden board. So this is a wooden board. So over this wooden board, these strips made of copper are placed with a wire of length 1 meter.
So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.